Oh, hello, top of the morning everybody. Hope you're all good, because I'm not, but that's not the problem. I need to point something out before we go into anything else in this video, because I feel like I need to point this out. It's nothing bad, I just feel like I need to say this, right? You know, I've got my Amazon wish list, and I always say, well, not always actually, that's a lie. I sometimes say to you lot, there's some stuff on there that would come in handy if anybody feels like buying it. I do want to point out everything on, because I've had a comment or two that give me the impression that people were disappointed when they see me with an item that they wanted to buy me from the wish list, but I've already got it, if that makes any sense. So I just want to point out, I'm fully conscious of what's on that wish list, okay? And anything that's on there, I still need or want, okay? So even if you see me with a particular item in a video and you've been looking at the wish list and you've either bought it and it's on its way, or you were looking at buying it but now I've got it and you're thinking, oh, see, I don't want any of your feelings to be hurt. I don't want you to feel that your gift to me won't be appreciated because I've already got that item. I bought it myself, or someone else has given it to me. So I just want to point out that if it's on there, I still want it or need it, okay? I just must point that out. Any gift that you lot give me is appreciated to the maximum because it is incredible. Anybody who thinks about me enough and thinks, I'm going to go out of my way and go onto that wish list and I'm going to go and buy him and spend my hard-earned money and buy him a present, that means more than anything to me, okay? So I've just got to point that out to you. Because I did receive the other day a little gift from a Mr. Dean Jones. So thank you very much, Mr. Dean Jones. And got a packet of these little test wires, look. And some of you will have noticed that even though I've now got a packet of these test wires, they are still on the wish list because these are incredibly handy. And not only would it be handy to have 2 sets, also I want to keep a set in the garage, and I want to keep a set in the little toolbox that I'm making up to keep in the Talbot, because with an old camper van or an old motorhome, we'll have to make running repairs, and there will be times where I might be somewhere and something electrical might stop working. So having a set of test leads with me will be incredibly, it'll make things easier. So thank you, Dean, really appreciate that. And actually these will come in handy. I'll be able to demonstrate something in probably the next video when we get the Talbot to run, hopefully. So these will come in handy for that. So there we go, you lot. I just thought I had to say that because I didn't want anybody's feelings to be hurt. Yeah, I just don't like that at all. If it's on the wish list, I still want or need it. Okay, even if I've already got one. And you might think, well, that's just greedy. Not, I've just explained reasons why. It's very handy having 2 sets of tools, if that makes sense. So I like I say, I don't want to have to keep taking my tools out of the garage every time I go out in the Talbot. I don't want to keep taking my tools out of the garage, putting them in the Talbot and all that. So I'm going to make up a toolbox, yeah, of tools, and that's going to be the one that I'm going to take with me when I go in the Talbot. So I know what's in that toolbox is going to have the most commonly used spanners, testing things like the test wires, most commonly used sockets. I might even try and get a socket set. There is a couple of socket sets I put on the wish list, but they are 40 quid, do you know what I mean? I can't expect anybody to spend 40 quid on a socket set for me, but they're on there anyway. I'm just going to get a little selection of tools to keep in the Talbot. I don't want to put expensive ones in there, just in case it does get broken into and they get nicked. So I don't want expensive, but just tools, just ones that can be used. So anyway, that's why I want, you know, these are incredibly handy. Do you know what I mean? You'll see why, right? I'm going to make, not in this video, but in the next video actually, because I've got to fit, as you can see, I've got HT lids to fit. Engine mount is today, this other engine mount, and I borrowed these extension bars from somebody, and I've also borrowed, don't know what I've done with it, I borrowed what do you call it, a box of sockets, Allen key impact sockets off of somebody, because I haven't got any myself, and I think the bolts for that engine mount are going to be tight, and they're Allen keys, and I don't want to strip them off with a wrench, a ratchet. So I've just borrowed them, and I borrowed the things so I can off they come, easy as pie. So yeah, you'll see probably next video I'm going to use these test wires actually, because I won't spoil any of the fun, but I did have to use a piece of wire before and stuff it in with some wood and get it to run that way. But now I've got these test wires, you'll see how much easier it is to diagnose problems. Anyway, I'm as sick as a dog today. We've got some sickness bugs going around in our home, so I'm not looking forward to laying underneath of a Talbot all day long. But never mind, job's got to be done. Let's go and do it. So I was stupid before, and what I'd done was I tried to measure the bottom gearbox mount. If you remember, I tried to measure it when it was still on, and it measured 80 millimeters, 80 mil. And I thought, well, they do an 85 mil and a 70 mil. Well, it's 80 mil, and that's closer to 85 than it is 70, so I'll get the 85. Well, it turns out the 85 mil mount was too big. It didn't fit. So I had to go back to Coastal Motorhomes. And Coastal Motorhomes, by the way, they're the place to go for your bits and bobs. You know, they're the Talbot place. That's where you want to be. On the phone, very polite. They do help you out. They do get fed up if you talk too much. I do tend to talk a lot, and I think the little man on there, he was getting a bit fed up because he couldn't wait to get rid of me afterwards. But there we go. Never mind. Nice person. And we've got ourselves a 70 mil engine mount. Let's go and fit it, shall we? Alright, so I've got the other one back off again. That's the 85 mil and the 70 mil. You can see the difference. So that's the one I need. I'll try and stuff the camera underneath now so that you can see. I've got a bit of an issue. I can't jack it up because it's hit the gutter on the house, on the bungalow. So let's get this one fitted. And that's the last stuff I've got to do underneath then, apart from the oil. Lovely. Right, back underneath. I don't think you can really see, but it's the last engine mount coming out. And rusted in because the thermostat housing was leaking and rusted all the bolts in. We got it off. That's the top of it, all rusted in. And there we go, one old mount. While I was there, I had to take off the pipe for the thermostat. The pipe, because I couldn't get to the engine mount bolts. So I had to take the pipe off, and when I was there I undid the two bolts to take the thermostat housing off, apart, and there's no thermostat in there, so that's good, really, kind of, because it means the new thermostat's due to be delivered today actually, before 3 PM, so the time now is about 8 o'clock in the morning, but at least it's coming today, so I can leave it apart, clean all around it and put a new one in. Anyway, here's the new engine mount. Old engine mount, so that should yeah, you can see that's well sunk and corroded. Oh, nice brand new one. So let's go and bolt that in. Loads and loads of copper slip on them bolts, just in case I have to do another engine mount in the future, which I probably will. And away we go. We're happy already, but still could have loads of problems yet. You never know, do you? The tripod's given up, so just got to film it. Hands-free, not hands-free, handheld mode. Clean up all these bolts. Clean up the top of this mount. Got the new mount in. Just got to clean the top of it up. Cleaned all the water off of there. Put all this off, stick it all back together, and then we're okay for that. I'm just got to wait for my thermostat. I'm going to go make up a gasket, because there's no gasket on it either. And we'll try and see if we can get it to start. Nice. Well, on thermostat housing is the bottom half of it. Just got to wait for the thermostat engine mounts in. So now we've got all 3 engine mounts done. Let's go and see what the gearbox feels like. Because we had a lot of slop in the gearbox before, and obviously it's come up now by around about 2 inches roughly, the whole engine has. So now hopefully, I can already feel, just in neutral, that's a lot better. Still got a lot of slop that way, but I can still change the bushes, the brass bushing underneath the stick there, the bushes on the actual selectors themselves, the bolts, they can be changed because they wear. And also on top of the gearbox there's a collar what comes up from the shaft, it's a collar. And you can buy new ones in there, £70. So, even so, look, first gear now, that's as far as that goes. That's neutral, there's first, just gone into first. Nowhere near that dash, it won't even touch the dash now, even if I tried it. Bit of slop there, there's loads of slop, but won't hit the dash. Now 5th gear, it won't go in 5th, because engine ain't running obviously, and the clutch ain't down, but let's try reverse. Well, it won't go reverse either, I've got to go and press the clutch. But I can feel it's a lot better. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, oh yeah. Now we're talking. I've got to adjust the throttle, because the throttle was out of adjustment and it weren't giving full throttle. So that'd be why it was a bit slow, because it weren't getting full throttle, so we'll fix that. Little jobs I can do while I'm waiting for this thermostat to turn up, because I'm sort of stuck without the thermostat really. I could put the housing back on, start it up, warm it up and do the oil change. Might do that. But while I've got the thermostat housing apart and all that, I think I'll just wait for it to turn up. When the postman comes and delivers it, I'll put the thermostat in, and then I'll put a gasket on and everything, seal that up good and proper, and then we'll warm it up. But I'm going to adjust the throttle now, because that needs adjusting. I'll adjust that so we get full throttle, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I've got to do the HT leads and that, but I want to do a separate video on that. I want to do just a starting video, because you know, some people might learn from that. Who knows? So a little job that I can do while I'm waiting for this thermostat, from Coastal Motorhomes again. Got a bit of rubber. Don't really know what it's for, but yeah, they sent me this bit of rubber, and don't know what I'm going to do with it. To be honest, I think what I'll do, I think it's supposed to go on the brakes to help the brakes work. I don't know, I'll have to take the front wheel off and see if I can find anything that might look like this in there, and then I'll see where I've got to fit it. Only joking, it's a rocker cover gasket, because the rocker cover, the one that was, there was a gasket on there but it was full of sealer, so I've got a new rocker cover gasket, so let's go put that on while we're waiting. Right, so here's the rocker cover. Got the old gasket on there now, it's all flat and terrible, so just got to pick it off with a screwdriver. Get your screwdriver under there somewhere. There'll be a place. Oh, there we go. Someone's put loads of seal around there. There we go. Flat old gasket. Clean all that old sealer off from all around. Stick the new one on. Might need to put a little bit of grease, or maybe even, I haven't got any sealer, but I might need to put a little dab of grease or sealer on the inside of there, just to keep it in place as I put the rocker cover back on again. But we'll work that out. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't. And these little spacers on here, if you undo these bolts too far, the little spacers drop off and go inside your engine. You don't want that. So yeah, go go go. Rocker cover back on, all good. And over there, that looks like a poster van to me, Royal Mail. Let's see what we get. With any luck, it's a thermostat. And if my thermostat comes, I can put it all back together, start her up, bleed her, put a bit of water in it, and carry on. Right, let's try and adjust this throttle while we're here. Fix the air filter as well, but now the throttle pedal, you can see there's a bolt up there. I need to get torch. Alright, I think we can see it like that. Let me go and get round now, and then we'll have a look. Right, that there, that's the throttle pedal. Look, and you can see it goes up, and then it goes up. So that there, right, so you can see that's where it's starting to take, that's right, it's starting to open the throttle now. That's where the pressure starts, but we got all that slack. That's all slack in the cable, where the cable's stretched over the years and nobody's bothered to adjust it. So that means we won't be getting full throttle when we do full throttle, because the pedal hits the floor. So what we've got to do is we can adjust it on there, and we can also adjust it on the carb. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to wind that up, see if I can take up some of the slack. And if I run out of room on that, then I'll go to the carb and I'll take it up on the carb. I've also got to have a look under it to try and fix the heater, but we'll have a look at that at some point. Right, throttle's more important than a heater. Need full throttle. Can't stand it when people neglect throttles. Right, okay then, so what I thought was a bolt up there with a thread on it you could wind in. It wasn't, it's just the end of the cable. So I had to go and have a look. You notice now, no slack. That's the cable. That's all the cable pulling all the way down to the floor. Don't know if it's full throttle still, but I'll have to get someone else to have a look at to push the pedal down. Unless I can jam the pedal down, then I can see if the throttle's fully open on the carb. But let me show you what was wrong with it. Around here to adjust it, because there's our adjustment. Oh, that's my screwdriver. Our adjustment screw is there. Up there's the bolt. You undo that little bolt, and you pull the cable through. But you see it's on like a little runner. It goes along there, round. But it come off and it was over to the side. So I put it back on. That's perfect. Let's choke. Right, you lot, that's it for this video. But I've just plugged the leisure battery back in, and I want to see what the light says now. So if I put it on to, still red. So I know that they're a simple circuit apparently. You have to take the panel out to adjust it though. You can adjust them, apparently so anyway. Aux. See how it doesn't. Yeah, I think that battery's at it. Because I put the battery on, I tried to run the pump, won't work. But it will run on the car battery. But even that says red. So, I don't know. Right, run like that. Interesting. That works, that goes off though. But both batteries are above 12.8 volts. And I believe that the red light gets triggered at 11 volts and below. They're both above 12.8 volts. So why that happens like that, I don't know. Gonna have to look into that. Another thing to look at. Lovely. See you later on, you lot. Next one, when the postman comes, thermostat in, HT leads on, and I'm going to show you how I did diagnose what the problem was. And then we'll get it fired up, change the oil, and get it all running well. Catch you on the next one, you lot. All the best.